I am 60 now, and the strangest thing is, I no longer fear explosions the way I used to. What I fear is the silence before them. Every morning, before I even open my eyes, I lie still and listen, trying to understand what kind of day it will be. If I hear planes far away, I feel tense but prepared, like my body, like my body already knows what to do. If I hear nothing at all, a cold feeling slowly spreads inside my chest, because silence here never means safety. It means something is coming, something you cannot see yet. We live near a place people call important, though no one ever explains why. They just they just say it is a target, and that is enough to understand everything. It means we are never far from danger, never outside its reach, no matter how normal things look for a moment. Before the war, I used to wake up late, rush to school, complain about homework, and laugh with my friends about things that do not matter anymore. I remember the sound of chairs moving, teachers talking, people laughing in hallways, all those small noises that felt annoying back then, but now feel like something precious I can never get back. Now, I measure time differently, not by hours or days, but by how long it has been since the last explosion. By how many nights we have survived without running, without screaming, without losing something again. Sometimes it's only minutes. I have learned to recognize the sounds of in the skies, the way other people recognize voices. A distant hum usually means a drone, slow and watching, like something that never sleeps. A sharp roll means a jet, fast and dangerous, something that does not stay long but leaves damage behind. And then there is a sound I hate most, a long, thin whistle that cuts through the air like something alive, like it is searching for you. That sound means you do not have time to think. At first, every sound is the same to me. Loud, loud, chaotic, impossible to understand. I used to cover my ears, press my face into my mother's arm, and wait for it to end, counting seconds without knowing what they meant. What they meant. I cried during every attack, my whole body shaking, unable to stop, even when the noise were gone. Now I do not cry anymore. Now I listen, I count, I guess. I try to stay one step ahead of something that is always better than me. My little sister, Lina, still believes I can protect her, even though I am only 16 and I'm just as fresh as she. She follows me everywhere during attacks, her small hands always searching for mine in the dark, her fingers holding on so tightly it almost hurts. Will it hit us? She asks every time, her voice small, her eyes wide in the dim light. I never know the answer, but I always say no, because that's what she needs to hear to keep breathing normally. She nods, as if my words can actually change the sky, as if my voice can stop something falling from above. My mother pretends to be calm, but I see the truth in the small details. In the way her hands move so quickly, in the way she checks the same things again and again. Water, documents, a small bag of food that never seems enough. She does not say much anymore, as if words have become too expensive, something we cannot afford to waste. We go down to the shelter with the others, people who used to be strangers, but now feel closer than relatives. In the dark, crowded space, we share everything: food, news, rumors, and sometimes silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy but sad. There's an old man who listens to a small radio, his face always serious, his voice low as he repeats what he hears. Sometimes the news gives people hope, a small piece of good information that spreads quickly through the room, but more often it only confirms what we already feel, that things are getting worse, not better. There is also a boy about my age, quiet, always sitting in the same corner, his back against the wall, his eye fixed on nothing. I once saw him smile, just for a second, when someone set foot with him, but it disappeared quickly, like it did not belong to him anymore. We rarely speak, but I know he listens the same way I do, counting seconds, measuring distance, trying to understand the sky as if it was something logical, something that could be solved. We do not need words. One night, everything changed. It began with something so simple it felt wrong immediately. There were no sirens, no distant echoes of explosions, no low hum of drones circling above. The sky was completely silent, empty in a way I had almost forgotten was possible, like the world had paused for a moment. At first, it felt like a gift, something rare and fragile. Then it felt like a warning. I lay in bed, staring into the darkness, my ears straining to catch something, anything that could explain the silence. Lina slept beside me, her breath soft and steady, her face relaxed in a way I had not seen in a long time, as if she had returned to being a child again, even if just for a few hours. My mother sat nearby for a while, watching us, then finally closed her eyes, exhaustion pulling her under, her body giving up, even if her mind could not. I was the only one awake. The silence pressed against me, heavy and unnatural, as if the whole world was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen, something big enough to break it completely. I got up slowly and walked to the window, carefully not to make noise, as if sound itself might trigger something hidden in the dark. Outside, the street looked calm, empty, almost peaceful, like a memory from another life, a version of the world that no longer exists. But I knew better. Silence, silence like this does not last. Not here, not anymore. I leaned closer to the glass, holding my breath, focusing on the distance, trying to hear beyond the quiet. At first, there was nothing, only the faint sound of the wind moving between broken buildings, carrying dust and something else I could not name. Then, barely rare, I heard it, a soft vibration, so quiet it could have been my imagination, a distant sound that did not match anything I knew. I froze, every part of me suddenly alert, my heart beginning to race as I tried to understand what I was hearing, trying to fit it into something familiar. It was not a drone, it was not a jet, it was not something else, something wrong. I hesitated, my mind racing, trying to decide what to do. Should I wake them now? Raise panic for nothing. Make my mother look at me with that tight disappointment. If I were wrong, or should I wait a little longer? Just a few more seconds, just to be sure. The sound stopped. The silence returned. Deeper than before. Heavier, like a squirrel hitting something. For a moment, I doubted myself, wondering if I had imagined everything. If, if the fear had finally started creating sounds inside my head. If I was losing control without realizing it. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe there was nothing. I decided to wait. That that decision would stay with me forever. A few seconds passed, slow and straight. Each one feeling longer than it should, like time itself was slowing down. Then the sound came back, clearer now, sharper, cutting through the silence with a terrible certainty that left no room for doubt. A long, thin whistle. My body reacted before my mind could catch up. Mom, wake up! Mom, wake up! I shouted, my voice breaking as I turned away from the window, already moving. She opened her eyes instantly, fear already there, as if she had been waiting for this moment, even in her sleep. What is it? She asked, her voice tight. Missile, I said. Then the world felt too small, too weak for what was coming toward us. We moved at once, grabbing Lina, pulling her from sleep into fear, her confusion turning into panic as we rushed towards the stairs that led to the shelter. The whistle grew louder behind us, faster, closer, filling the air with a sound that seemed alive, like it were chasing us. Halfway downstairs, I realized something. We were too late. The explosion came before we could reach safety. A blinding flash swallowed everything, followed by a force so strong it felt like the world has been ripped apart from the inside. The sound hit me like a wall, crushing the air from my lungs, turning everything into noise and pressure and chaos that made no sense. Then suddenly nothing. No sound, no movement, just a heavy ringing silence that filled my head. I was on the ground, my body numb, my ears screaming with a high, endless tone that blocked everything else. Dust covered my face, my mouth, my eyes, making it hard to breathe, hard to see, hard to think. Slowly, the girl came back. Steps first, blurred and broken, then voices distant and unclear, then sharper, louder, filled with panic and pain. I pushed myself up, my hands shaking, my vision still unstable. My mother was calling my name, her voice breaking again and again, and Lina's was crying, her small body pressed against me so tightly I could feel her heartbeat racing against mine. We were alive, but something was wrong. Something was missing. I turned back, slowly, afraid of what I would see, afraid of confirming what I already felt. The upper floor was gone, not damaged, not broken, just gone, replaced by a pile of concrete, dust, and twisted pieces of what used to be our home, our life, our past. Everything we had was there. Everything we had was lost. And I knew with a certainty that hurt more than anything that I had heard it. that I had known something was wrong, and that I had waited, that I had chosen to wait. That thought never left me.